When Erica Lynn speaks, you take one step beyond you. One step.
Hello. I am Erica Lynn from ericalynnspeaks.com. You know, before I started on my journey of becoming a coach, a podcast host, an author, and a motivational speaker, I had to go through my trials. I had to go through the tests. I had to go through the things that made me be the woman that I am today. You see, back when I was a little girl, my mom and my dad, they used to argue all the time. You guys probably can relate to having parents that didn't get along. But they would separate. He would move out of the house and come back and move out. So one particular day when I came home from school, my father had gone, and this time he wasn't returning. That totally devastated me because I was sitting in the window waiting for him to pull up, calling on the phone, just really wanting him to be a part of my life. And he just was not there because he had to go on and live his own life. He had his own things that he had to go through. Well, I experienced what was called the daddy syndrome. That's my term for it, the daddy syndrome. And with the daddy syndrome causes you to always look for love. If somebody say, hey, you beautiful, you like, oh, they like me, they love me. If somebody gives you a little extra attention, then you feel that it's love. So you're always looking for love, whether it's in the right places or the wrong places. But oftentimes you're looking for love in all the wrong places. So I just remember always, dating and gravitating to neighbors and friends and just trying to find that father figure. Well, one day we had a neighbor that lived down the street from us, and my mom had said, go and ask the neighbor to take you to the store. I need some things for dinner. I was 13 years old by this time, and I did exactly what my mom asked me to do. And so the neighbor took me to the store. I got the things that I needed to get from the store. And on the way home, I proceeded to get in the back seat. And he says, no, I would like for you to ride in the front seat. I was like, nah, I don't want it. He says, yeah, come on. So, of course, he convinced me to ride in the front seat. And I just remember sitting close to the door, looking out the window, like a very innocent 13-year-old child should do. Well, he says, well, you're sitting too far. And he reached over and he gently pulled me close to him. And I just remember sitting in the front seat, squeezing my arms and my legs real tight, trying to put up a body of armor, trying to have a defense for myself. Well, needless to say, a 13-year-old does not have a defense against a grown man. And he just began touching me and doing things that he should not. So when we got home, I went and took my mom to groceries, but I never said anything to my mom because I just didn't know what the consequences were going to be. Was my mom going to end up in jail for doing something to this man? Like, I didn't know what the outcome would be. So because of that, I kept it all in the inside. But I started running through life because my head was messed up at this time. I started drinking and partying and smoking and just doing all things that were not good for a 13-year-old child. So as a result of that, I spent most of my life running through life, running into one experience after another. Being a female dancer at 17, having my first child at 17, getting into a 10-year abusive marriage, all up until I was 35 years old. When I graduated from college, I hit rock bottom. I became suicidal at that point. Well, because of all of these experiences that I've had in my life, there was just one bad situation on top of another. You see, I never took the time to heal from the things of my past, but yet and still I kept moving forward in life. I had a broken foundation. My core was cracked. My core was not solid. It could not sustain all of things that I added onto it. Life, kids, a husband, jobs, school. I did all of this on what was a broken foundation. And in the process, after I hit rock bottom and my foundation just cracked and totally gave way, I had to heal. I had to move forward. I had to pick myself up. I had to uplift myself. I had to do the things that was necessary to make sure that I'm able to move forward. So there came the 7 techniques of healing. So this is where we are now. I am the author of the book, The 7 Techniques of Healing. You say, what is the 7 techniques of healing? If you think about the 7 techniques of healing and the word healing itself, the word healing simply means let's heal, let's educate, let's take action, let's leap. Who are we going to inspire? Are we inspired? What do you need? And what does growth look like to you? So I'll break it down just a little further for you guys so that you can understand who the 7 techniques of healing is for, how can it help you, and if you have any questions about the 7 techniques of healing, hopefully this clears it all up for you. Well, we'll start with heal. Healing simply means that you have to heal from all the broken areas in your life. And how do you heal, you say? Well, you begin to peel back the layers one by one. Abuse. Your boyfriend broke up with you. Your parents were always arguing. You came up from in a bad home. Your job fired you. You got a divorce. You got bad, unruly kids. Whatever the circumstances or the trauma or the issue is, you got to peel it back. Peel it back. Now let's identify what the root cause is. Because oftentimes when things happen in our life as an adult, it stemmed from something that happened when we were a young child. So in other words, when we didn't learn how to stand up for ourselves, or we learned how to become passive or submissive and accept anything, because that was an experience that we were taught when we were a child. Shut up, don't say anything. Oh, just stay in a child's place. Oh, while somebody is doing wrong to you, or you seeing wrong things being done to your mom or your dad, but you're told not to say anything. And so those are things that you were taught as a child. And so when you begin to have experiences as an adult, then you revert back to the child that was in you. You revert back to the age that experience happened to you. So now what's most important is once we identify the root cause, then we have to come up with a plan together of a way that we can help you heal yourself. But we're going to do it together. So after you heal yourself, now you say, well, Erica, where do I go after I heal myself? I feel like I'm on my journey of healing. I feel like I've experienced things. I feel that I released some stuff out of me. I feel like I finally opened up and sharing, so now I'm ready to go on my healing journey. Now I'm ready to experience life. Now I really want to know what doors are open for me, but I really don't know how to get there. Well, the next step is you must educate yourself. How do you educate yourself? You have to learn what you need. Do you need therapy? Do you need counseling? Do you need a coach? Do you need a friend? Do you need a family support system? What do you need? Like do you need medicated drugs from your psychiatrist? Like whatever it is, do you need to really help you become whole mentally, to help your emotions, to help guide your emotions into a place where you're not all over the place anymore, but bring them into one place where that when you begin to let them out, you feel free and you feel refreshed. But you got to educate yourself on how you're going to get there and what you're going to need. If you're going to need yoga or some different classes that really help you center your thoughts, but that is part 2 of the step. So part 3 is now you've figured out, or you've learned, or you started the process to heal. Now you've educated yourself on how you're going to get there, what tools you need, what steps you're going to take. Well, step 3 is action. Why heal and educate yourself if you're not going to do anything about it? You must be willing to do something about it. You must be willing to move forward on those steps on that journey that you learned. You must be willing to take action into your healing. You must be willing to put you first. You must be willing to think about all the lives and people that you're going to touch and inspire by sharing your story, by just healing you. You know, what about when you go to work every day before you went through this healing phase and they go, oh, she mean? Oh, she just mean, like, oh, like, don't talk to her. She always act like she got a stank attitude. Oh, well, people don't stop to think about why you act that way. What put you in that position? What caused you to act that way? If people thought like that, then they can walk to you and begin to help you identify and fix your root cause. But when somebody goes, they react to you just as negative as you react to them. That means that that person didn't take the time to get to know you. That person didn't take the time to understand that underneath all that meanness, all that stuff you're saying is really hurt and pain. And you're really crying out and saying, please help me. Please help me. I'm hurting here. I'm hurting here. I don't want to hurt anymore. Please help me. And so I encourage you, when you see somebody that doesn't have a normal attitude or is not acting the way you feel that they should act, or, you know, whatever, reach out to them and say, hey, I'm taking action. How can I help you help yourself? Hey, I'm just your sister. I love you. I'm coming from a place of sister love. And so when you reach out in kindness and you try to help other people, it makes a whole lot of happy, much better people in the society. So next, you heal, educate, you take action. Now it's time to take a leap. Let's take a leap and do something that you've always wanted to do, but you never had the courage to do it. Let's take a leap and say, okay, now I'm going to sit down and I'm going to tell my mom what happened to me. Let's take a leap and say, I'm going to start that new business. I want to learn the steps, the tools that I need to understand to start that new business. Let's take a leap and say, I want to get my degree. I want an education for once. I'm tired of being a statistic. I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of not being able to pay the bills. I'm going to take a leap and actually go back to school. You say, I want to take a leap. I want a better relationship with my children. I want to be able to sit at the table and play games and communicate with them. You know, I want to take a leap and just show them how much I love them and I'm sorry for what happened in our past. And let's figure out how we can get through this together. I want to take a leap and say, okay, I'm ready for that husband that God hadn't brought into my life because I didn't do the work before to heal myself, but now I've started my path. I'm working on myself. I'm ready to start opening up and meeting people because I started my journey of doing the work. Because what many of you don't know is when you start that healing journey, you can't heal in 1 week. You can't heal in 2 weeks. You can't heal in 6 months. You can't necessarily fully, completely heal in 1 year. Sometimes the healing journey is a journey that goes on for a long time, years after years, and you're always on that continuous growth. But as you begin to go, taking that leap through life and through that journey, you start gaining tools and techniques that will help you just become a whole new person. And you say, let's take that leap. Next, inspire. What am I inspired to do? Well, I am inspired to speak positivity in my life. I'm inspired to speak positivity in your life. I know I can accomplish anything that I put my mind to. I know that I'm good. I know that I'm great. I know that I am successful. Then you begin to, I'll give you guys a tip that you can take with you. I want you to get some index cards, 10 index cards, just a little index cards. And I want you to write your own positive affirmations on these index cards. I don't want you to write the ones that I give you. I want you to write your own affirmations, because if you write your affirmations, then it's more personable to you. It means more to you if you write them than if I give them to you. And so once you write your affirmations, then you're going to go and you're going to put them on the wall everywhere that you go. In the morning, when you go to the commode, and when you go in the bathroom mirror to brush your teeth, when you're getting ready for work, on the kitchen sink, on the refrigerator, everywhere you go, and when you write, put a different affirmation. And so for 30 days, I want you to say these affirmations once in the morning and once in the evening when you come in. You see, they say it takes 21 days to form a habit, but just imagine what you can do in 30 days. So now you're going to say things like, I am beautiful. I am bold. I am wonderful. I am fantastic. I can accomplish anything that I set my mind to. I'm going to buy a new car. I'm buying this new house. I'm going to lose 15 pounds. I'm going to begin to eat healthy. I'm going to fix my mind. I'm going to read that book today. I am going to be the next president. I am going to be the next first lady. I am going to start that business. I am walking into millions of dollars. I will no longer be broke. My bank account is fat. My life is happy. I love myself unconditionally. See, the happiness you feel, nobody can take from you when you put the work and the inspiration. So those are the laws of reciprocity. What you put out in the atmosphere is what you get back in. So you just put out great things out into the environment. Let's sit back and see those great things come back to you. So next, what do you need? So now we talked about in the beginning how educating yourself, what you might need, a counselor, a therapist. So now you've grown, right? You have all those people set up. So what do you need at this point? You know, what would help move your life forward? What would help you further on your journey at this point? You said, well, Erica, I need $10,000. I want to start this business. Erica, I need to find me a personal trainer because now I'm ready to go on my health journey. Erica, I'm ready to find a meal prep planner to help me prep my food. Erica, I'm ready to have a counselor so that now I'm ready to work on this relationship with my child, a family counselor. Well, Erica, I'm ready to go to the doctor because now I've realized that, you know, I'm not feeling well and I might, you know, the doctor says something to me that I didn't like and I didn't want to accept it, but I'm ready to walk and understand and do the necessary work that I need to do to heal from it, because I'm going to speak positive that I'm healed from this cancer, that I don't have kidney disease, my blood pressure is not high. But in order to when you speak these positive things, then your life walks in alignment with it, right? So don't just say I'm healed and I have cancer and don't do anything to walk in alignment with it, because the Bible always said faith without works is dead. So to have faith, but then also work in alignment, go to see your doctor, take your natural healing products, whatever it is, whatever you need to help you get through this next phase on your journey, you can get there and you can do it with greatness. So that brings me to the last step, growth. Wow, when you look back at the journey you took, just remember, it only took just one step beyond you. And so growth simply means the journey, the path that you took to get there. And being able to look back and smile like, wow, it was challenging at first, but I did it. I'm brilliant. I'm resilient, you know? And so you can appreciate the journey a lot more because you went through it and you didn't give up and you fought for your healing. You fought for you fought for your family. You fought for the people and things that was most important, i.e. yourself. And I believe in when you get to the point where you want it to be, it is so important to reach back and help somebody else. So you must reach out and teach someone that's going through what you're going through or going through what you went through, you know. Reach back and teach someone from the next generation. But oftentimes when you go through the 7 techniques of healing, you go through that phase and you finished and you've at your greatest point, then somebody that you don't know or that you may know, they come up to you and they just start randomly talking. And as you begin having a conversation, you start looking at them like, I know this person. And oftentimes that person was you, because you can identify the things that was inside of them is from a place that you just come from. So you want to, You want to be a blessing. And it's called Each One Teach One, meaning reach out and teach someone else. Show them, guide them, walk with them, hold their hand if you need to, pray with them, whatever it is, help them get to the next step. So the 7 techniques of healing, Erica Lynn. But what makes me so grateful about my journey that I went through? I'm thankful that my mom has been there with me the whole way. I'm grateful that in days when I just was so mean to my mom because I had pain and hurt and I didn't know how to express it because I was a young girl, that she didn't give up on me. She never gave up. She never gave up on me. I'm thankful that although my father was not there in the beginning, he came back in the latter years of his life, and he started pouring into me, loving in me, and giving me those things that the little girl missed in the beginning. But he gave it to me at a point of being a woman, and I was able to make some tough decisions in my life at that time. After he came in, I was right on it. Erica was doing what she needed to do, because that little extra push, that motivation, that strength, that love that I've always wanted to feel from him, I finally had an opportunity to get it. I met a pastor that just poured into me, and he poured into me from a place of God's love. And he taught me that God loves me, and that every man in my life is not there to destroy me and tear me down. And so I'm thankful for my pastor that just loved me from a place of God. I'm thankful for my family and my kids for walking with me, allowing me to tell them my truth of my past, of my healing, walking on my healing journey. I'm grateful for a friend of mine who just been there with me every step of the way and never dropped me, but just been a friend. I'm thankful for all the people that God has sent in my life to protect me throughout the years, so that when I was not strong enough or didn't have vision or didn't have purpose, that they were there fighting for me and helped me along the way until I arrived at this point to where I have the biggest visions. My purpose is to help as many people that God would allow. My strength is beyond anything that you can imagine. You know, I'm going to leave you guys with a quick piece from my album. I did a CD called Never Give Up. It's on Spotify and all the streaming platforms. And it goes like this. We've all had life decisions, some good and some bad. But when you are faced with those decisions that you may never have had, being pregnant and underage, you have no idea what you should do. If I keep it, what type of life will my child even have? If I terminate it, will I deal with a life full of regret? I tell you, the choices you make, no one is to judge. So don't throw in the towel just yet, because no one will hold a grudge. So I say to you, never quit and never give up. If he yells at you and tears you down, sometimes he even pushes you around, you find yourself asking, is verbal abuse even abuse? You begin reasoning with yourself, saying, he just called me stupid, and only the B word. You ask yourself a question saying, doesn't that mean he just loves me more? He sits back and says, she's just being a woman. Is it okay for her to down me, belittle me, and treat me less than a man? I tell you both that verbal abuse is still abuse, and you are worth so much more. You are a powerful woman, a powerful man, and you stand up as such. So I say to you, never quit and never give up. Sometimes your relationship has taken a turn for the worse. You're always arguing, day in and day out. You just don't seem to meet eye to eye. You're tired of arguing. You're tired of fighting, but the love you feel for each other just doesn't seem to keep you apart. So you stand up and fight and don't let nothing tear you apart. So I say to you, never quit and never give up. We wake up one day and we find ourselves all in the pandemic. Your lives, businesses, and the schools are simply shut down. Is it a plague? Was this a commandment? Is it written in the Bible? I don't know, but the world has no idea what to do. We go to our leader for guidance and advice. He tells you to take hydroxychloroquine and drink bleach. Perhaps that should suffice. Our prayer is to be rescued by a leader who cares, a leader who tells the truth and put the people first. Don't worry, change is coming, so never quit and never give up. Don't fret, don't worry, it is time for a change. We will be living in a world with no crime, no hassle, or no pain. A world full of love, life, and even laughter. Full of young people who will grow up to have manners. Once they begin to respect themselves, then all hope is not lost. Grow up to become that next boss. Rise up to be the next leader. Rise up for those who paid the cost. Rise up to your rightful position and never quit and never give up. So that is my time. I am Erica Lynn. I want to encourage you to never quit and never give up. I gave you 7 tools and 7 techniques that you can utilize to help walk you through the process. If you need the guide in your hand, you can always get the book. I am Erica Lynn from ericalynnspeaks.com. I'll see you guys soon. Never quit, never give up. And just remember, it only takes just one step beyond you.
Lynn Speaks.